Yeah, hi all. So today's topic is on nested loops. Now, what is nested loops? Like we have heard about loops. So loops was something, it was reducing a repetitive task, right? Now, nested loop is nothing but using a loop inside a loop. Okay. So if you didn't get it, what I said, let me first write the topic as I always write nested loop. Okay. So the best way to understand it is with the help of example. Let's say I give you a task to write the multiplication table of first 10 numbers. Okay. So the task is multiplication table, multiplication table for first 10 numbers, 1 to 10. Okay, this is the task. Now you know this is being repeated from 1 to 10. So what you have to write like 1 into 1 is equal to 1. Then after that, your next task is what? 1 into 2 into 1 equal to 2. Then your next task is what? 3 into 1 equal to 3, and so on. So up till last, you are going to say 10 into 1 equal to 10. Okay, so obviously here you can follow the pattern that this is keep on repeating. Sure. So it's keep on repeating. So you may get an idea that here basically what is changing. Only this number is going to change 1, 2, 3, and here so on up to 10. Right. But if you try to observe, like in this entire thing is one part. Okay. After that, this is the entire thing, one part that is being repeated. But here, if we try to observe, there is one more part that is already also being repeated. Now, after this, what is the next part? 1 into 2 equal to 2, 1 into 3 equal to 3, so on, up to 1 into 10 equal to like 10. Similarly, so on up to here, 2 into 10 equal to 20. So on, same here, same here. So if you see, like whenever we switch inside this, again, the loop is being repeated. Like there is a certain task which is keep on repeating here. Okay, and here if you see what is the repeating here, like here the value of this is changing. This is constant for this row, and this is changing 1, 2, 3, and so on. Similarly, here what will be changing in this pattern? It will be 1, 2, 3, and so on up to 10. Okay, got it? So what's happening is the main loop is there. Inside that, again, us we require a sub loop so that we can go in the down direction and we can get all the multiplication table. Okay. So I hope you have got an idea like how actually the nested loop is. Like when do we need to use? Like when we have a work inside a work, which is repetitive task. Okay, now let's try to understand it with the help of code. We'll write a code. First of all, what we require is we require a code to go from one stable to two stable, from two stable to three stable up to 10. That will be our main code, right? After that, we require a sub loop code. So for that, first I'm going to write the main loop code. That is, as usual, we have seen in our last class. That is, for example, for what we say int, let's say it is x equal to, we have initialized with 1. Then I say x up till less than or equal to, I can say as 10. Then I'm going to do x plus plus. Okay, so once I have done this, now inside this, whatever I have to write is the multiplication table of each test. So now here I'm going to use one more loop for int. Okay, int y equal to, let's say we have initialized first with the 1. Obviously, it's going to be 1. Then it should also go up to y less than or equal to 10. Then what we are doing, y plus plus. Once we have done this much, I'm going to go inside this. And this is the line which is keep on repeating for how many times? 100 times. Okay, because here in one multiplication table, we have 10 and we are doing for 10 multiplication tables. So it's 10 into 10, like 100. So here what I'm going to say, south. And here I'll say whatever is my x. First of all, it should be x plus double quotation mark. Don't give single quotation mark, plus y. Whatever is my y, double quotation mark, and plus And here, I forgot to give here plus. And then after plus here, I'm again going to give, okay, here instead of spacebar, here I'll give capital X. X here I'll give equal to, and here I'm going to say X into Y. Okay, and if you just see, if I run it, you should be able to see candles cancel. Okay, so if you see, the output is here with all the multiplication table, just one after the other. Okay, so to make it good, like to look it good, what we'll do after each one multiplication table, we need to give a space bar, like an empty line. So where should we put that particular code? Whenever this one particular, this main loop has been completed, right? This is one part. Then afterwards, this is one part. Okay, so whenever our one main loop is completed, then we have to give it. So that is nothing but we can give it like, let me just minimize it. We can give it before this here itself, or we can give it after this loop here itself. Okay, not here, that is after our loop here itself. Okay, if we give at top, what will happen? Like our first line itself will be a blank space, and then the number will start because the first command is blank space, and that is what we don't want. So what I'll do is I'll give it here. So here I'll simply say south. That's it. And if I run it once again, so if you see, now we'll be able to get the multiplication table smoothly. Clear? Okay. So I hope this was pretty simple enough and the best way to understand a nested loop. Okay. Now to gain much command on this nested loop and all, because it's a very important topic, we'll try to solve some problems. So the problems that we'll be solving are known as pattern problems, few of the famous problems. So let's first try to print this star. Okay, a square pattern, a basic simple one. Okay, this is a square pattern. Oh my God, let me complete it quickly. Okay, let's do it for 4 by 4. Okay, so initially what I could have simply said, let me again clear it everything. So there is a consistency. Okay, so first of all, what I want a loop. So if you see, it's being repeated, right? So this same part is being repeated here in this line. Again, this same part is repeated here. Okay, again, this is being repeated. So obviously, if there is something repeating, I need to require a for loop. So as we know, we require for, let's say, int. My variable is x equal to 0, and I'm going to x less than 4. And I'll say I'll update my x plus plus. And once I do that, what I'll do is now I'll simply print south, quotation mark, star, spacebar, star, spacebar, star, spacebar, star. Okay. And if I run now, I should be able to see a square pattern. Okay. Now, just to increase the difficulty level, what I'll tell you is that whenever you are using a print statement, in that only one star should be there. You can't use multiple stars. Then from this, what we understand? Then we understand here that here we have to use a nested loop, that what we have discussed right now, because one loop is going in this way below direction, whereas whenever we reach one particular part, now here we have to travel it in this direction. Okay, that is in horizontal direction, because we are using only one star. So for that purpose, what I'll do now, I'll write a for loop. I'll just first erase it. So that first erase this line. And inside this, now how much times I want to go here? I again want to go for 4 times. So I'll say for int, I'll say, let's say y equal to 0. And I'm going to do y less than 4. Then I'm going to say y updated, that is plus plus. Once I update it, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say south. And here, instead of print ln, that is instead of print new line, I'm going to say print in same line. What you are going to print in same line? That is nothing but star. Okay, and I'll give a spacebar at the starting and the beginning. So let's see what's happening here. is, let's take this. Now, let's say first our x is 0. Then when it comes to y equal to 0, it is going to say south star. So one star is there. This is x is 0. Now y is 0. Then after this, y is being repeated. Then y will be updated as 1. And then we'll get one more star. Then after it again keeps on repeating 2, 3. Then here we'll get 4 stars. Okay. Why it didn't go to 0? Because it has to first complete this work. Then only it's going to go back to this loop. So in this way, we got the first 4 stars. And after this, when we are going from here to here, that is to the x, it will be updated to 1. But before updating to 1 and going here, what we have to make sure is that our cursor is here and we have to bring it down. So this will be done with the help of south command. Okay, where we have to do this once we have achieved this task. And we are achieving that in this yellow brackets. Okay, so now what I'll do is after this yellow bracket, I'm going to simply say a new line. How will I say the new line? I'm going to say south. South println, only that much. And if I do run, if you see, we are able to get a square pattern, similar. Clear? Okay, so I hope this was pretty simple and easy enough. Now we'll just again try to increase a bit of difficulty level here. Not a difficulty level here, but an advanced feature here. Now what is happening here? We have, okay, here we have how many? 4 by 4 square. Now what I want from this is I want a hollow square. So I want to remove these stars that are present inside. So now how would we do that? Any idea? What we know, what do we know from this star? We know that each star has some is activated at a particular position. So for example, when our x was 0, okay, and when our y was 0, that time we got this one. Clear? When our x was 0 and y was updated to 1, then we got this star. Okay, then when our x was 0 and y was 2, then we got this star. And similarly, when our x was 0 and y was 3, we got this star. Okay, so for similarly here, now when did we get this star? Like when did we get this 4 star? So obviously this is 0, means here it will be 1. When our x will be 1, okay, then what should be our y value? Our y value should be 1 and 2. So it should be 1 and 2. So this should be the 2 values here. Okay, so let me write the condition for that then. What I have to do is I have to write a if condition here. So I'll say if, what I'll say, if my x is equal to, let's say 1, okay, and okay, and we have to write it here in this way. What we are going to say, y equal to 1, okay, or y equal to 2. If this is the case, that is nothing but what I have drawn here. If this is the case, what you do south, that is in same line, not new line. You simply do spacebar, 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 3 spacebar. Why 3 spacebar? Because here if you see 1 spacebar, 1 star and 1 spacebar. So to have the consistency, I have done that. Okay, that is nothing but print the spacebars. Else what you do, take this command here above. Okay, and remove this unwanted line. And now if I run it, okay, so let me just clear the drawing which I've drawn here. So if you see, we got the first part empty. Now what we want is we want the second one. Same thing we have to do for the below part. So here the next will be what? 2. So whenever it is 2 and this will be 1 or 2. That time again what I'll do here, I can simply update the condition here again. That is, I can put this entire thing in a bracket. Okay, and here I can again give a condition saying or when x is equal to 2. Okay, and if I run it, you see, we get a empty square bracket. But the issue here is that it's working completely fine. But now let's say if someone comes and updates that square as 5. Now let's say if we have to develop a program in such a way that anyone can come and enter the square size at, let's say, 5, or if they say 10, the square size should be of that type, and it should also be empty in between. Then this code will not work there. Okay, so here we have to just modify or update our code. Now, first of all, let's say for a square, now the sides are equal. So even if you see here, we have by default given here 4, 4. So first of all, this 4, 4, we have to create it store it in a variable so that anyone can come and just change the side. So I'll simply say int side equal to, I can take the input, but presently I'll give a hardcore value. Let's say now I'm going to give 6. Oh, sorry, where is 6? Okay. Now instead of saying this 4, I will say side. So Control V. I'll remove this and Control V. Okay. Presently, what I'll do, I'll just again change back to 4 so that let's see if nothing has been changed by just updating a variable. Okay, you see nothing has changed. We just updated our variable. Now, whatever we have written this code will not work for 6. If you just want to check, you can just check here. If I write this 6, it doesn't work. So if you see, it's just going to empty the first 4 lines. So in this case, we have to write a code in such a way that it's always printing the border part itself. Now, how would we do that? So from this, we understand one thing is no matter any number you take, we always want the first line, that is the 0th line, okay, in the horizontal way. We also want the first vertical line, that is in this way. Okay, cool. So these were the 2 things that we first understood. So first, let's write the condition for this. So what I'll do is I'll first go here. Whenever I'll say if x is equal to 0, yeah, first, and or I'll say or whenever x is equal to or y is equal to let's say 0, what you do is I'll bring this statement down and I'll bring this statement up. Okay, what I did, so whenever my x is equal to 0 or whenever my y is equal to 0, what I said to print a star. Okay, because we require a star, right? We require here everywhere star. So in this, whenever it is 0, 0, print the star, else don't print anything. So what we are expecting now, we should have something like this. Okay, let's see if this has met our criteria. So let me run it. Okay, cool. So if you see, we just got our first part correct. Okay, now what will be our next thing? What we want is we want the bottom part here, this one, this and this. Okay, and this is the square, so we obviously know the square size. Now here the square size is 6. Okay, and we know our loop is starting from 0. That means it will start from 0 and it will end at 5. Okay, so here what we could have given is we know our last this value. This was nothing but this will be 5, and we also know this, that is this is also 5. Okay, and this is 5 here. So I'm just going to update here. When x equal to 0, 0, I'll remove all the brackets as we are using OR, and I'll remove bracket. Here I'll again update or what I'll say, x equal to let's say 5. Now what will happen if I give 5? It will be again a hardcore value. So I'll say side, whatever is the side, minus 1. Okay, and again I'll just copy this one and I'm going to update it here. I'm going to say star double slash and I'm going to say side minus 1 and just remove what is this, y. Okay, let me clear this screen. Okay, so how we have a condition, whenever it is 0, print the star. Whenever x is 0, print the star. Whenever y is 0, print the star. Whenever x is 1 minus the side, that is nothing but when x is the last value, print the star. When y is the last value, print the star. And let's check if it is correct. Cool. So we just got the correct output. So no matter now, even if I enter 10, it should give us correct square. Okay. Let's run this again. Why this was an error? Okay, you see, we got the 10 correct. Clear? So let me just write here clear. Cool. So that's it with the square pattern. Now what we'll do, we'll just try to increase our difficulty level and we'll go with the star pattern. So now let's say we want a pattern which is in the form of triangle. Okay, so here again, let's imagine it is a square, and from square what we understood is that we have to first go in the down direction. So this is the first part. So we require a loop, okay, which will help us to go in the down direction. Clear? Now this is a bit challenging here. Now how to say, like, here it is going once, working 1 time, here the loop is working 2 times, here it is going to say 2 times, then 3 times, like here 1 2 3 4 times. Okay. So this is a bit challenging. Any idea how will we do that? So again, here what we could have said is that what I'll say. So here we are going for how many times? 4 times, right? Let's say, what is this? Let's say this is my x, which is going in this direction, and this is my y, which is going in this direction. X is something called as main loop, y is the sub loop. Okay, so when my x is, let's say, 0, clear? How many times my y should run? It should run for 1 time. Let's say when my x is 1, okay, that is nothing but when my x gets updated, that will be 1. How many times my y should run? My y should run for 2 times. So here it should run for 2 times. Here x value I am writing and y times I am writing. How many times I am writing? Okay. Now when x value is 3, how many times this should run? Oh, wait, how did it jump to 3? When it is 2, when x value is 2, how many times y should run? Y should run for 3 times. Clear? And when our x value is 3, how many times y should run? Y should run for 4 times. Clear? This is what we understood with the help of diagram. Now we have to just come up with some logic so that our loop, so x, there is no problem with x. For x, we can simply say the same thing here, like whatever is the side, this is the suitable. But the issue is with y. How would we give the condition for y? Okay. The hint is present on your screen itself. Just try to connect these numbers. What is the difference here? What's the relationship here? So whenever my x, what is y? Y is just the plus 1, right? So if I just do x plus 1, will I get y? Yeah, because if I do plus 1 here, will I get y? Yes. Plus 1 here, will I get y? Yes. Plus 1 here, will I get y? Yes. Okay. So whatever is the value of x, if I plus 1 it, that many times the loop is running. Clear? So if we have understood till here, then it's a great success. Now we are just going to code this same thing. So let me clear whatever I have written still here. I want this part. Okay. Okay. Now I'll say, okay, let this be down. And now here I have to first write a main loop which will go down. So for, let's say, what it is, int. Int x equal to, let's say, what is my x equal to? Initially, it's 0. Okay, and I'm updating s, like I'm giving the condition less than side. Okay, and then I'm going to say x plus plus. So my x is being updated. So I'm done with my first loop. Inside this loop, I have to write the loop for y. So I'm saying for int what I will say y, it's also starting with 0. Okay, that's good. If we start with 0, okay, let's start with 0. And then what I'll do, whatever is my y, it should run for how many times? Yes, it should run for how many times? It should run for whatever is my x is less than x plus 1 colon what is my last thing, y plus plus, and inside this I'll give the bracket. Okay, let's try to understand what I have written. So I have written, where is the proper pen? Okay, I have written y equal to 0. Okay, so it's initially starting with 0. Okay, I'm writing for this 0, and here I have given until it is less than 1. So the first time 0, so 0 plus 1 is nothing but 1. So my first for loop is nothing but for int y equal to 0, y less than 1. This is what something I have written in my first loop. If I put the values, this is what I'm getting. Okay, next time when it comes to this main loop and when my x is updated, that time again I am starting my y equal to 0. Okay, and here I am going to say, what is the value of x now? It's 1. 1 plus 1 is what? 2. So run my y less than 2. So that is nothing but it will run for 0 and 1. So the y values will be here, it will be just 0. Here it will be 0 and 1. Here it will be 0, 1, 2. Here it will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Clear? Or was it a bit confusing here? Yeah. Okay, I hope you are getting it. Okay, if you have not yet, I'll again try to explain it in a bit different way. Let's first complete this part. Okay. Okay, so here what I have to say is, why this got open? Delete this. Okay. What I have to do is south. I'm going to say start. And I don't want it in new line. I want it in present line. Whereas after completing this horizontal loop, whenever we are going to the vertical loop, that is our main loop, then you do new line. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, cool. What value I've given? Okay, I've given 10, so that's why it went so up. Okay, let's run this again. No, this is not scrolling up. Let me reduce it to, let's say, 4. It's working fine. No issues with that. Just that image only. Okay, if you see 4, so 4 horizontally, and we have a correct triangle. Okay, so if you are not able to understand how this y is working, what I have written here, y's value, I am just going to remove this as here, and I'm going to simply put here y, and here if I run it, we'll be able to see I got 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, and 0, 1, 2, 3. Clear? Yes. So yeah, it was pretty simple enough. Okay, and if you want to increase the same thing, like let's say what we'll try to do now is, instead of doing it 0, 0, 1 like this, we'll have it in this way: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. What would we do for this? We could have simply again created a variable, I can say like a counter variable. Okay. And we could have kept on updating it. Let's do it. It's pretty simple here. And what I'll do, I'll initialize a variable as counter, which I have not yet used. And what I'll do is, here instead of y, I'm going to say as counter. Okay. And here inside this, I'm going to say counter 0. Okay. And then I'm going to say counter plus plus. Yeah. So let's see if it works. And if I run it, it didn't work because I initialized here inside. I'll remove this outside, and again it will not work because I have to keep it here. And if I run it, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Clear? Why it didn't work here? Because whenever if I include this here, what is happening? Each time the loop starts, the counter is set to 0. And then we are incrementing it plus plus. So that will not work. We have to always initialize it outside. So the original value is being present. Clear? So this was the part. Now let's come back and do it star itself. So for that, what I'll do, I'll just delete this part. I don't want this part. And here, instead of this, I'll say spacebar, star, spacebar. And I'm going to run it now. Okay, I don't want counter also. I'll remove that from here. Now our task is to remove this part. So to make nothing but what we followed the previous thing is to remove the star from here. Remove the between star. So for this, again, we have to write a condition in such a way that no matter whichever star you give, like whichever triangle you give, it should always give you a hollow triangle. Okay, so the first part is very easy. That is nothing but doing this is very easy. Here we can say whenever our y is equal to 0, that is nothing but this line. We can say this is this. And for this, what we can say is whenever our x is the last value, that time print the star. Okay, let's first do this. Then we'll try to focus how to do on the next thing. So here I'll give a if condition y equal to let's say 0 or x. How can I give my x? X is nothing but side. So what I'll say equal to side minus 1. If this is happening, what you do is print the star. So I'll put this star, this condition here. Okay. Print the star. Else what you do is don't print the star, just do the empty this. So I'll just copy this, Ctrl C, I'll paste it here. And I'll remove the star from here and give a spacebar. And let's check it. If we get a cool, no matter, like even if I enter like 8, it should work properly. Okay, cool. Now, how to say that this part, which part? Now here it is this. Next time 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 it is this. And next time it is this. Yeah. Any idea how can we say that? How to mention that line? Yeah. Can we say it like this? That whenever our y value is the last value, whenever y value is the last value, is the last value. Okay. Now here, like first time y value is what? Y value is, let's first for time being ignore this. When our loop is starting with 0, right? 0 and 1. So let's say x is 0, then y is going to run for 0 time. Okay, this is value I'm writing here up. and here I am writing the times. Okay, y times I'm writing. So an x value is 1, y is running for how many times? 2 times. And what is the value of y? It is 0 and 1. So can I give the condition as whenever my y is equal to x? Let's try to run it for next loop. Like whenever my x value is 2, then y should run for 3 times. Okay, so the values for this will be nothing but 0, 1, 2. So if you see this and this is matching, so let's try to give it a condition here as, where is the if condition here? Or I can say whenever my x value is equal to y, and run it. Cool. Did we achieve the target? Yes. Great. Now, no matter, like let's give 10. It works as smooth as worked previous day. Let's give for just 5 and let's run it. Clear? So it worked very smooth. Clear? Now, just in case if you wanted to reverse it, what to do it? Now, I just wanted to invert the triangle. For example, now the triangle is in this way, right? Now I wanted 10, 3, 4. Here it should be 1, 2, 3. And here it should be 1, 2. And here it should be 1. Okay, so now the loop, that our main loop is the constant thing, because here again, let's say we are running for 4 times. Okay, for this particular example. And here what is happening? Here also we are going for 4 times. But in next time, if you observe, the value has decreased to 3 times our y value. And here it is just for running for 2 times. And here it is running for 1 time. Clear? Now again, let's debug it, how to write it. So our main loop, what is our x value? Our x value is again starting with 0, 1, 2, and 3. And y, so this is value. Okay, and this is what I'm going to write here, times. Y, how many times it should run? Should run for 4 times. When it is 1, how many times it should run? It should run for 3 times. Here it should run for 2 times, and here it should run for 1 times. So any logic that you are getting here with the help of these numbers? Yeah. Can I write it like this? Whatever is my original, this is what? This is nothing but side, a variable we can say. So whatever is my side minus x, if I do, will I get y? So side is nothing but 4. 4 minus x is 4 minus nothing but here it is 0. So we'll get 4. Okay. Next time we'll minus 1. Okay. Then we'll get 3. Okay. Next time what we'll do, side minus 2 and we'll get 2. Great. 3. Okay. Hope it works. Let's code it. I'll say for, then what I have to say is int. Okay, let me first create the int side equal to, let's say, 0 colon. Okay, now what I'll do is int, I have to create one variable which is x. I have initialized it as 0. I have said it should be less than side. Okay, and then I also said I should be increased every time. And then I'm going to say go inside this, and inside this what you have to do is you have to create one more loop which is start with for. Then I'll say int, I'll create a variable as y which is initialized with 0, and then I'll say should run up till, oh my god, should run up till, what is the condition? Whatever is my side minus x. Okay, let me clear few drawings here which are creating as an obstacle. Okay, then what I said, minus x, and then I'll say update it. What to update? Y plus plus. Once I update it, what I'll do is go inside this loop, and then I'm going to say simply south. What you south is south star. Okay, once you do this, and once the main the horizontal loop is completed, what I'll simply say is south a new line. And if I run it, dun, dun, dun. Oh, what happened? If I run it, oh, just let me clear my screen and see what's the issue. Oh, okay. The issue is that I gave side equal to 0. Silly things. Let's give here 5 and run it. Oh, cool. Okay, if you see white printed in a new line, because here I forgot to remove the ln. And if I run it now, great. You see, I got a inverted triangle. Okay, easy concept, right? Now we had discussed in previous problems, right? Like we can do 0, 1, 2, 3, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1. Those part you can do, you can increment what or you can have a counter and all. Okay, you can have a hollow part also. And for this present, I will, or shall I ignore or do it? Still time. Okay, okay, it's simple, it's not that tough. So again, you have to write the condition here first. Whenever it is horizontal, what is the horizontal value? Here it is x equal to 0. And what's the vertical value? Here y equal to 0. Whenever these two are the condition, it should print the star. Okay, first let's write the condition for this. And I'll say if what will happen if in what is the value? X. Oh wait, why I'm initializing? I have to say, right, if x equal to 0, or I am saying y equal to 0. If this is happening, what you do is go inside this brackets and you do this part. Okay, and if this part is not valid, like the if block is not valid, then what you do is simply do south and print the empty spaces. Okay, and now we should be able to get it's expected, but it didn't work as expected. Let's check why. Okay, because here I did ln, and now if I run it, it should work as expected. Great. Now to get the last coordinates, what's the value? Whenever ry is again equal to x, so let me keep here in same condition. Y is equal to x and run it. Cool. So here the previous logic didn't work. So now we have to figure out what's the logic here. So let's say, what's the value here? Let's take the example of 4. So whenever my x is 0, my y is what? Running for how many times? 4 times. The value here are 0, 1, 2, 3. Whenever it is 1, here it is running for 3 times. The values are 0, 1, 2. It is 2, then here it is running for 2 times. Here it is 0 and 1. And when it is running for third time, this for loop is running for, while loop is running for 1 time. And here I'm having the value as 0. So, okay, so here I am observing a pattern. That is this 0, 1, 2, 3 is nothing but 0, 1, 2, 3 here. Yeah. So how would we say? Whatever is my 0, whatever is my 0, if I write it minus, okay, if I do y minus x minus 1, will this condition hold good for all? Let's see. Y is what? 4. Let me apply. Okay, let me write the condition here again. Y minus x minus 1. What's the value of y? Y is 4. What's the value of x? It is 0. Minus 1 is nothing but 3. So we got the first part. We got this. Let's check for next one. Then the 4 is constant. X value is what? 1. And minus 1 I'm doing here. So this is nothing but we'll get 2. Okay, 2 I got. Then here I'm doing 4 minus, here I'm doing minus 2, minus 1. Here it should be 1. And next time, okay, I feel now definitely it will get 0. So 4 minus 3 minus 1, this is 0. Clear? So now what is 4 here? 4, now here's nothing but it's a side. Okay, so my condition should be side. Okay, and let's write this condition here. Is I'll say or what is, I'll keep this bracket as it has some calculation, side minus, what is this, x minus 1 should be equal to what? What's the value of this? This is y, right? These are the y values, right? I'm speaking about this part. Oh my God. Y values, right? These are the values of y. So whenever this equation, whatever I have written it, gets the same value as this y value, that time print this star. Okay, let's run and check it. Cool, we got it right, but there is one extra star here. We need to figure out why it came. Let me clear this screen. Okay, this part is not removed now. That's what diagonal part was not removed. And now there shouldn't be any error. Cool, great. So that was a good task and well practiced on for loops. So yeah, that's it for today's class then. We'll catch up in next class. Okay, so bye.